Hey, what's up? Silas here. In this video, I'm going to be giving you guys an excellent example of how problems in the world exist not because of what X is, but because of how we define X. And with this, when these definitions and things happen, when I've moved around in my life, I've gone to different places and I see different things happen for the same reasons or the same things happen for different reasons. Where I'm like, okay, that's what it is. But because of the people here defining that in a certain way, they're going to react to it in a certain way. And because the people here are just like the other people there and they have those same needs, but they define that in a different way. The way you actually get to a situation where these needs are actually fulfilled are actually done in a different way. Now, it's a lot easier to see this when you move around physically to different places in the world, but you can also just think about in the mind space, the way people look at things and define things. Because check this tweet out that somebody posted. The CEO of GoFundMe has confirmed that 1 out of every 3 GoFundMe campaigns running right now is to pay medical bills, which makes GoFundMe one of the biggest insurers in the country. If that doesn't make you sick to your stomach, you are heartless. So this person is saying that having this crowdfunding site where people just have needs, you post them on there, you make your case for it, and then people can go on and donate to you, whether it's breaking your arm, whether it's wanting to start a film, whether it's wanting to go to college, whatever kind of situation you want to have, that's a horrible situation. I think he's making the case here that a platform where people from anywhere in the world can be helped by others from anywhere else in the world is being seen as a negative thing due to the failure of a system where money is taken from people in taxation and then distributed to other people in a given area, in a limited physical area, limited geographical area. And that's supposedly a negative thing to this person. And I just can't really understand what kind of mindset doesn't see that and see this as a positive thing, see this as the internet kind of providing a example of how the world is going to be in the future. And not necessarily just the world in the future, but it's kind of a throwback going before there were these kind of state institutions that had this whole situation where, oh, we're going to trust in the state to do it for this. We had friendly societies, you had charity given in this way, because this is utter charity. If somebody directly goes out and says, I am going to give out of my own willingness to this person for this person's cause. And with GoFundMe, there are certain crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter and things like that, and Patreon and things like that, where the person who's asking for money can give some kind of perks and say, oh, if you actually give me this money, you can get these perks. Like, let's say you're making a film, oh, you'll be credited as the executive producer, or you might get a limited shirt, or you might get a page of the, what's it called, of the script or something, or of what's on the storyboard or things like that. So there's other perks. But when you have a GoFundMe situation, it's literally just people saying, I need your help. Will you help me? And people do that and give. And I think it comes from some kind of mindset where some of these people have this compartmentalization in their mind where they have to think, in order for the state to actually exist as a need in their life, they have to think that without the state, people would not care enough to actually help each other. And that, I just kind of, I am shocked and taken aback to see what kind of people do they have in their lives that they mistrust that people are actually going to help each other when they're needed. Is it a situation where they've moved around a lot and they just don't really have that many connections? Because for me, coming back here in Kenya, they don't have as big an insurance system as they did in the United States of America, whether it's private insurance or given by the state. Both are increasing, private insurance in Kenya and also state-given insurance. Yet, when something actually happens, when a big accident happens, when a big need comes by, they usually have harambes, they have these chamas, these kind of societies where people come together and get their money together and they changa together and then they give to the person who needs it. Somebody's kid is sick, they come together and they give to the kid. Somebody's kid needs to go to school, they come together and give to the kid. And there's some kind of reciprocal kind of environment where they give back to each other, where you kind of expect this person gives to you and you give back to these people. And there's some kind of unity there. So I've seen that in the past, and now I'm seeing it coming in the future with these kind of things on the internet. And just why do you think this person, Jim Marcus, who wrote this, has such a negative view about GoFundMe being a successful thing like this. What are your thoughts behind that? Because I'm just trying to understand that mindset between it. I know they kind of have to think that people are not going to help each other in order to hold the state there. But what kind of thing do you think they're actually leads up to this kind of mindset, this kind of situation, in your opinion? And why can't he see that part of the reason this is being so effective is because there's been a failure of the state in a supposed role of caring for everyone in this sense? Okay, one last thing. There's also a situation in the United States of America where I've talked about this before, where your average American, I think said 75% of Americans don't have $1,000 in their bank account if an emergency happened, which is a large amount of people. Yes, they might have credit and things like this where they be able to actually call out that thing. A lot of people are insured, so they might actually get that, but just $1,000 having that. And some of these things, the medical costs have gone really high due to, I think, government regulations and things like that. Now, part of the positives with having this kind of GoFundMe situation is it's global. Somebody, some Saudi sheikh, if he wanted to, can fund you and things like that. And you've seen different things where just random people online, seemingly random people online, will get large amounts of money donated from other countries and things like that. And yeah, people have talked about how there's potential of money laundering. People have talked about also how there's might be something where like Democrats are using it for false accusations, and then their lawyer fees are being paid through there. Like, for example, the recent thing with Stormy Daniels, who was a porn star who had accused the President Donald J. Trump of something, was ordered to pay Donald J. Trump's lawyer fees. So I think she had hundreds of thousands of dollars were actually donated to her for her lawyer fees. And now a lot of that money that people donated to Stormy Daniels is actually going to go and kind of pay Donald Trump in some kind of weird kind of, is it Schadenfreude? No, I don't know if that's it. Schadenfreude. Now I'm a total Nazi for saying something, in German. But here's a definition of insurance. Noun 1. An arrangement by which a company or the state undertakes to provide a guarantee or compensation for a specified loss, damage, illness, or death in return for payment of a specified premium. 1.1. The business of providing insurance. 1.2. Money paid for insurance. 1.3. Money paid out as compensation under an insurance policy. 2. A thing providing protection against a possible eventuality. Usage. There is a technical distinction between insurance and assurance in the context of life insurance. See assurance. So I think that's a different thing where it's like you're assured to get this in the kind of situation where life insurance is the kind of thing where it's like you guarantee the person is going to die, but I guess the terms of the life insurance could differ where it's like if somebody commits suicide, it's not really going to be the same way as if somebody dies on their job, for example. The origin is late Middle English, originally as insurance in the sense ensuring, assurance, a guarantee. From Old French assurance, from insurer, see insure. Insurance, that's one, dates from the mid-17th century. So just with that definition and the previous thing we were talking about where he's talking about that GoFundMe is the biggest insurer in the country, that's not an insurer. It's not even fitting the definition of insurance because people don't go out there and post like, oh, I might break my leg, so please pay me. It's a situation where it's like, I've broken my leg, I don't have money, can you please help me out with this? So it's more of a need-based thing. It's not even an actual insurer, but I think with a lot of people like Jim Marcus, they don't really care too much about the actual definitions of things and just use words as spells. And it really disturbs me. I like using words for the definitions that actually exist. So two things on this. The first is the dilution of definitions, not wanting to actually have the word mean what it means anymore. Invent a new word, because if you don't have pre-existing conditions, if you don't have the situation where somebody has to plan ahead of time, it's not insurance. If you just go in a situation and your house can actually literally be on fire, then you go apply for fire insurance, it's not going to work the same way because you're supposed to think ahead of time and plan ahead of time. And another thing with just the mentality of these people, the same people who are saying that, oh, taxation is okay because people are going to want to pay for this anyway. When you see a process where people are paying for other people's medical bills, now that's apparently a heartless thing. So what are people? Anyway, but that's it for this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.